Let's do some more review problems for the Unit 2 test. Here, they ask us to find the length of the segment round to the nearest tenth. This information is important because we need to round correctly once we have our final answer. They're giving us 2 points, point J and point K. So to find the length, we can use the distance formula, which uses, once again, the x values get subtracted, so -2 minus 1 squared plus the y value subtracted, 4 minus 3. All of that goes inside a square root. So we have the square root. -2 minus 1 is a -3. 4 minus 3 is a 1. Any number squared, the answer is going to be positive. So -3 times -3 is a positive 9. 1 times 1 is just a 1. So we have the square root of 10, which produces a very long decimal. 3.162277 keeps on going, but they're asking us to round to the nearest tenth, so we need to cut it off here, leaving only the tenth place. So the number to the right tells us that the 1 should really be bumped up. So our final answer should really be a 3.2. That should be what we write here, 3.2 units. After that, they're asking us to find the midpoint between these 2 points. So if you try to do this by the graph, from one point to the other, you go down 1, and then to the right 3. So if you want to do the midpoint, you'd have to go halfway of each distance. So halfway of 1, and then halfway of 3, which is 1.5. So that point there might be a little bit difficult for you to read. So you might want to use the midpoint formula. If you can read it, that's fine. That's the point -1/2, and then 3.5. But we can check with the midpoint formula. We take the x's and we add them together because midpoints are average. The average of x's and y's is what we're doing. So the average of the x's is you add those x's together, a -2 plus a 1, and you divide by 2. And then you take the average of the y's, the 4 and the 3. 4 plus 3, and you divide it by 2. -2 plus 1, that's just a -1 over 2. And then 4 plus 3 is a 7 divided by 2. Neither of those fractions simplify, so you can just leave it in fraction form, -1/2, 7/2 as your final midpoint value. So now that we've done many review problems, from now on you probably already know how to do this problem. The endpoints of 2 given segments are given. You have to find the length of each segment, which at this point you should know to use the distance formula for both of them. You do the distance formula twice, once for AB and then again for CD, and you tell whether the segments are congruent or not. If you get the same value from the distance formula from each one, which is x, you subtract the x's and you square them, and then you subtract the y's and you square them, all of that inside the square root. That should be the strategy for problem 12. Please practice this on your own and find your answer. In problem number 13, they're asking you to bisect angle PQR. So just remember that when you read the name of an angle, you follow the order of that first P, then Q, then R. That helps you identify the angle they're talking about. We're going to use our compass to bisect this angle. So you take your compass and you move it so that the transparent circle over here falls over point Q. And then you're going to move your slider out of the way so you can see where you are. You're going to be rotating your compass from one side to the other, keeping your pencil right there in the drawing circle of your compass so that it creates an arc like this. So rotating the compass with your pencil is going to create that arc. After you have that arc, you can move your compass out of the way. And now make note of where your arc intersects your angle. Right here and right here, the points in green. Those are the locations now where you're going to be moving your compass. Let's try this point here. You're going to open up the red slider of your compass so that you can rotate your compass like this to do a little arc with your pencil right here. So I rotated my compass and created that arc. And then I'm going to move my compass to the other intersection point in green right here. Rotate the compass up and down from that other intersection point so that you create your arc with your pencil through that drawing hole. After you're done with that, you can move your compass out of the way. And now you're going to draw a straight line, which I'm going to try to do here in purple, from your vertex through the intersection of your last two arcs. That is now the bisector of angle PQR. They're asking you to create a point T on the bisector ray right here. If it's a ray, it keeps going. So that is point T, and to name this bisector ray, that would be the ray QT, the symbol of a ray on top. To copy angle TQR, that is now the angle. I'm going to use a highlighter to show it to you. That's the angle that goes from T to Q and then to R. To do that, we're going to go back to our compass and use it to copy that angle. The first thing we need is a bottom baseline for that angle, so I'm going to use this line as the bottom of my new angle. Then I'm going to move my compass so that, again, I can see that vertex Q. And I'm going to swing my compass out of the way here for a moment so that you can see what I'm going to try to do here. I'm going to now erase these marks because I don't need them anymore. I used those to create the bisector. Now I go back to my compass. And I'm going to create a new arc that just covers this angle from one side to the other, angle TQR, such that the arc gets marked with my pencil. The arc should be marked. Now, without moving the slider direction, without moving the slider opening, you take your compass and you move it to the vertex of your new angle. And you're going to create the same arc that you created here. You're now going to create it over here, rotating your compass from the vertex, and the arc is marked with your pencil mark. Now you're going to move your compass such that the opening of your compass matches where your arc crossed over the purple bisector line, which is going to be the top line of our copied angle. And then you're going to rotate your compass from that location so that you can now move your red slider up to match the other intersection point of your drawn arc. Now, the measurement that your compass is measuring from this part of the arc to that one is marked on your compass. What you need to do is, without changing the opening between your compass opening and the location of your red slider, move your compass so that now you can match up. You might need to rotate your compass like that so that the openings of your compass fall exactly along your center openings of your compass. Keeping those locations marked, we can now draw a line from our vertex location exactly through where the opening of the compass is marked. And this new angle that we have drawn there is a copy of TQR.